To achieve realism in a shot, we need the key light to project shadows. Shadows are disabled for each light by default. I'll need to select the light and go to the Modify panel and enable shadows in the General Parameters rollout. I'll go ahead and tick this switch to turn it on, and you'll see now I'm getting shadows projected onto that backdrop. Let's talk about the different types of shadows and which one you would choose in different situations. The default is called a shadow map, and that's a pixel-based shadow. That means that it's actually projecting a pixel-based image onto the backdrop. And that's the cheapest, it's the most efficient and fastest of all the shadow types. And that's why it's the default. As we'll see in a later movie, if you use shadow maps, you're going to have to adjust the pixel values in order to get good results. The disadvantage of shadow maps is that they don't respect transparency, and we will not get a variable softness to the shadow based upon distance. Shadow map is just equally soft or equally hard throughout, and again, it doesn't respect transparency. If I have a glass object, it'll cast an absolutely black shadow if I'm using a shadow map. What are the other options? If I click on this pull-down list, you will see a few other options. Specifically, we've got ray trace shadows. And if I select that, you will see that in my viewport now I'm getting a little bit harder edge shadows. That's because ray trace shadows are vector-based. And by default, ray trace shadows will give you very hard edges. And they do respect transparency. So a glass object would cast a very light shadow if I choose ray trace shadows. We've also got area shadows. Area shadows are useful because you can get a really soft effect, and it's vector-based, which means I don't have to worry about mosaicing or pixelation in the rendering. But area shadows do not respect transparency, and if, again, I have a glass object, I'll get perfectly black shadows if I use area shadows. Finally, there's advanced ray traced. Advanced ray trace shadows are the best option because they do respect transparency, and the softness of the shadow does respect distance. However, they're the slowest to render because they're the most computationally expensive. We're going to look at shadow maps first in the next movie.